you're not going to become a well-known and liked company with Google. You're reaching hundreds of people in a week.
You could never afford to.
Even when there's hundreds of people a week doing business with you, there's not any more than hundreds of people a week searching to ever see that. So you're not branding in any way, shape, or form on Google. And if you were, even if it was possible, it would be extremely expensive. And so the quantity of people you reach is limited to dozens or hundreds. With that, they don't remember a flippin' thing about you, even if you had a really great landing page. If they didn't choose you, if the offer didn't sing to them like right now, you're lost. Welcome to the Maven Marketing Podcast. Today is Maven Monday. I'm your host, Brandon Welch, and I am joined by Caleb, opt out of all social media, AG. You won't find Caleb on them Facebooks or them TikToks.
Actually, you know what? You can find me, and I need to make that
He
not
just
true.
won't see you.
I just don't participate, I think is the problem.
He opted out.
So I opted out.
He's wiser than the rest of us. But speaking of Facebook and social media, today we're going to talk about the machine of Facebook and Meta and lead generation and the machine of Google and which one you might best be using in your business. Title of the episode is Facebook or Google, the showdown, right?
Yeah.
So this is the place where we answer your real life marketing questions so you can eliminate waste in advertising, grow your business, and achieve the big dream. And in the modern era of lead generation, the two big monsters and the two big tools to master, unfortunately or fortunately, sometimes come down to Google or Facebook.
Yeah.
And there's a lot changing in both of those worlds.
It's 2024, by the way, if you're listening to this later.
In case it's 2086 and you're wondering, where am I?
Yeah. Facebook, what's that?
Yes.
It's changed names 7 times since then.
Yes, we're probably still doing this podcast in 2086. Can you imagine?
That's right.
Anyway, so the question is which is better.
Yeah.
We're going to give you some short answers to that, but then we're going to give you some long answers as well.
We always do.
We always do. But our goal is for you to come away with a strategic approach instead of just which media is going to win. Because if you haven't figured it out yet, by episode 68 of this podcast, it's 68, 65, or 68.
Something like that.
If you haven't figured it out, media is not the answer.
Yeah.
Connecting with human beings and presenting them a better life is the answer. And it's just about which one of these tools is probably more equipped to do that from where you are in your business.
Yeah.
And we've got lots of experience. Caleb and I have been spending gazillions of dollars on Google, Facebook, and all other platforms for over 10 years now.
We've easily spent millions, I think, on both of these combined.
Yeah.
And I think the thing we found, just for your edification, these two right now, that's why I was timestamping it. Right now, we found that these two produce leads the most consistently, the most effectively,
and scalably.
Then scalably. Yeah. Compared to some other medias that we've tried. Yeah. And so we're not biased to either one of these. We're just saying we just go where it works, right?
Yep. We've got geniuses on both sides of these platforms and others in traditional media, and you know that about us. But if you're sitting there and you're going, hey, I've got a business that's doing, $4 or $5 million a year, and I got maybe tapped out in one area, or I'm super frustrated with one of my lead sources, you're going to hear other answers, like other principles that will apply to more than just Facebook or Google here.
Sure.
But it all comes down to where is the person, what's going on in their life, what are their needs, pains, hopes, and fears, and how can you present the best answer to their solution?
Yeah. So just for clarity, we're talking specifically about today customers right now, which we define as somebody who is in the market for what you are selling. Guess what? Today.
They woke up and they got to have it now.
They have to have it.
They're not on a journey.
They had a flat tire and you're a tire shop. They had a leaky roof and you're a roof shop. They had, they had a hungry stomach and you happen to have a restaurant. But we have to keep in mind that this person is very transactional in nature because they have that need today and they need it quickly. Usually they don't really have an option to wait, right? If you got a flat tire, you got to get that fixed today, right?
So if we wake up and we have the pain, there are products that are just like something breaks or something's, got to happen. Like you're going back to school and you got to have XYZ thing happen.
Yeah.
And that's a demand, like that's a precipitating event that just broke and you had to go do it. There's also people that are really, really, really close to the finish line that can be found, and maybe not this second,
Yeah.
Are they buying? Are they saying, yes, I'll buy? But if you presented the right offer or presented the right message or the right desire to them,
They jump.
you could get them out of tomorrow mode a little quicker and into today mode. And just to say it plainly, Facebook is the media that does that better because it reaches people while they're not exactly and specifically searching. They're not on a search engine page looking for an answer.
Yeah.
However, they may be in a mode. They may be in that 2 or 3 week window or, expendable income situation where they could pounce on a product. And if you present it to them upstream,
Yeah.
even when they weren't thinking about it this second, they might jump.
Yeah.
Google doesn't have the ability to do that. Google only shows you a search engine page when you've actually
Search for it.
put the search in.
Yeah.
And so what does that fundamentally mean? If we're working the media backwards, that fundamentally means buyers are in a different psychology. They're in a different mindset. They're in more of a transactional data analytical mindset when they're on a search engine page.
That's
They're
right.
in more of a relaxed, potentially emotional, relational mindset on Facebook. Now, the vast majority of all the audiences on Facebook are not just going to buy because you said so, but there's a subset. There's a bigger available audience that could potentially buy in a bigger window on Facebook than there is Google.
Yeah. And just for clarity, like we said, we're talking about today customers. I don't think we've mentioned, we're talking specifically about Google search here. We have an episode talking about the different Google campaign types that you can look into. Go back and look at that episode. We'll put it in the show notes too, just so you can click on it.
Yep.
But there are lots of other Google type. You can even run YouTube ads through Google Ads. That's not what we're talking about. Talking about search ads. You search for marketing agency,
good old fashioned,
and you found us. That's a Google ad. And the same
because we don't advertise.
Yeah, we're not on there. But
we're not on there.
The same is true of Facebook. We are specifically talking about things that have to do with lead generation. So either there's an objective type that you can do for generating leads, which would make a form after they click on your ad. So they click on your ad, there's a form, they can fill it out.
To take the next step.
To take the next step.
Or click to your website and become either buy a service or book a appointment with your sales team, I guess.
So we're looking for an action. Yeah. We're not talking about video ads or things like that.
Yes. Thank you for saying that because and specifically lead generation, which has better options for you. So let's start with Google. We're going to do pros and cons for each. And we're just going to go down the list and maybe expound on a couple. So Google, you are only reaching people who have asked to see your product in theory. Now that's in the pro category. I have it here. If you're going, I don't want to say maximize ad budget because that's always related to what you're trying to make happen long term, but short term maximization of like, I've got to have sales now. My phones aren't ringing. I need them to ring more for next week to fill my calendars or whatever. You're only going to be spending money to get in front of people who are looking for it this second.
Yes.
That is good, but it also means you're at the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
And when people are at the finish line, they don't take as much time. They don't take hardly any time to go, what's the quality of this company? Who am I going to be dealing with? What's the relationship? They're not thinking long term.
It's a gut response, right?
It's usually a pain-driven response. How do I get this out of my life as quick as I can? Assuming that you haven't won them over or nobody's won them over at that finish line.
Yeah. If you think about the old like marketing funnel, right? Gets smaller at the bottom. Google is just literally, it's not even in the funnel. It's a net that's hanging underneath the funnel.
Yeah, it really is.
It's literally, you're putting your little fishing net right at the bottom. You're hoping you grab a couple fish on the way through.
Yes.
Like that is what Google is. It's not even, Google wants to say they're at the bottom of the funnel. No, they're after the funnel. You didn't win them at all in a marketing sense. You just caught them while they were looking.
So let me talk to my home service companies.
Yeah.
The people who are solving a problem, like something's broken or like it's got to be fixed for a utility. I'm not talking about luxury items like solar or something like that, but like just my home service, roofers, HVAC, electricians, all that stuff.
Yep.
If you have not done your job creating awareness at the top of the old-fashioned marketing funnel so that people like you, know you, at least are familiar with you, have an inkling of who to call if something happens. If you've not done that, and by the way, a lot of you haven't done a good enough job at that, which is why you're dependent on lead generation. I would just say our biggest and most profitable clients dependent on lead generation.
No.
It's a nice to have. They don't even actually focus on it all that much. Like the ones that are just killing it, It just happens because we've done a really good job at the top of that funnel.
That's right.
We talk about it a little different way, but that tomorrow customer or that awareness cycle, if you haven't done a good enough job and the person wakes up and they got to have what you do, they're going on a consideration search, like who do I find? That's the middle of the funnel. Who can do this for me? And then action is at the bottom of that, right? I take action. Well, those two things are not based on their own information. It's based on who they can find in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And who they find in that moment depends largely on your budget and largely on your offer, which is another con of Google. You have to be competitive. You're not going to be the highest price, most valuable service and win in Google.
That's right.
Or the most premium service, I should say. You'll get a few that way, but the majority that end up there and don't already have a desire to buy you for a higher calling and a higher margin reason aren't going to do it.
Yeah. You'll have to make a concession.
You'll have to make a concession. You've lost that chance to sell them on the higher way of doing business.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a premium electrician because you do a 120 checkpoint around my house and make sure everything's safe, and you go test it over my outlets, and you look at my breakers and make sure it's all good, and you want to sell me, generators and extra wiring and extra lighting because you want to be that kind of guy instead of the guy that just shows up to fix a broken light socket or something.
Mm-hmm.
One of those is high margin, one is low margin. Google is probably less of a platform for you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get more of that low quality customer.
Yep.
Anything to add to that?
No. I think the next one we have, you don't have to be overly creative to get an action.
Yes.
So Google, the responsive search ads, the nerds call them RSAs. And you insert a handful of headlines and a handful of descriptions. Headlines are the shorter blue text that you see at the top. The description is the bottom set. And Google kind of mixes and matches your ad for you, tests it, and tells you which one's working better.
And Google says, cool, when do you want that ad to show? And you say, when people type in electrician, and you go, well, we're electricians. And then you might put something like fast service and good prices. And, and then it says, cool, now what landing page do you want to send them to? And you send them to a landing page. And that's the end of creativity with Google.
It has nothing to do with your, at least until you get to the landing page, it has nothing to do with your story. Your differentiating factors. It has nothing to do with what makes you special, really hardly at all, unless you got some offer or something like that.
Nobody walks around going, ooh, that was a really catchy Google ad I saw today.
No.
Nobody goes,
let's see if I can pull that back up for you.
You're never going to believe this Google ad I saw. Wasn't that so entertaining, funny? I love this company. No, it's all information based. And guess what? There's data to prove this, but very, very often people don't even realize what company they're clicking on. If they've seen or recognized the name, that will cause them to click more often, but they're not even consciously going, ooh, that's the company I picked. They're not looking at the URL. They're going, what did the text say, and did it satisfy the void I have in this second?
That's right.
So it's not, with that, not at all a good way to create awareness or branding.
Yeah, but the pro of it is that makes it more accessible for people who maybe are starting out, don't feel like they have the writing power, they don't have the skills to write elegant ads.
Yes.
You don't have to. They're a little bit down and dirty.
Yes. A couple other quick pros. It's more call driven. People are obviously way more likely to pick up the phone or click the call button when they're on a mobile device in Google. That is an advantage to a really well-tuned relational service company who has good phone dialogue. That's an advantage for you. If you have quick follow-up processes or whatever. And generally people that talk will respond quicker and take action quicker.
Yeah.
Facebook, it's rare to be able to get a call off of Facebook. Nobody's going to see a Facebook ad and have a propensity to call. Now, again, that has to do with more the user's
mode,
context and mode. Yeah. However, the quality and character of that lead is going to be of action. So those are the pros.
Of Google.
Yeah, of Google. Let's go a little bit into the cons. We talked a little bit about this a second ago, but it's an extremely inefficient way to reach a lot of people.
Yes.
We're not going to go super deep into this, but what you need to know is that there's a metric that all marketers use called cost per thousand. It's essentially, what does it cost us to reach 1,000 people? For comparison's sake, I'm going to give you some medias. TV and radio, it costs us about $5 to $15 per 1,000 people we reach. Okay.
Yep.
Facebook, we'll talk about in a minute, a second or a minute, probably a minute.
Maybe more.
$10 to
minutes.
$20 per thousand is not unreasonable. So
Yep.
still fairly efficient. Print can be in the 30 to 50. Let's see. Cable television can be more in like the 15 to 30 range. If you're talking about Super Bowl ads, big groups of people, premium audiences, maybe in the $20 to $30 range. Google is $800 to $1,200 CPM is the average I see.
Yeah.
So we're paying 10 to 15 times more to reach people.
Yeah.
If not even 30, 40 times more people. So at the lower ends of those other CPMs. So with that, you're not going to become a well-known and liked company with Google.
No.
You're just not going to do it. You're reaching hundreds of people in a week.
You could never afford to through Google in this sense, right?
Even let's just take it down to local companies. I'm thinking services like attorneys and doctors, and even when there's hundreds of people a week doing business with you, there's not any more than hundreds of people a week searching to ever see that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas any of those other ad platforms, there's tens of thousands this second using and watching that and watching them. So the inventory in and of itself is more available on these other platforms. Now, in the Google versus Facebook world, that just means there's a bunch more people, i.e., future customers to win over on Facebook. So you're not branding in any way, shape, or form on Google. And if you were, even if it was possible, it would be extremely expensive. And so the quantity of people you reach is limited to dozens or hundreds. And with that, they don't remember a flippin' thing about you. Even if you had a really great landing page, they're not going to remember. If they didn't choose you, if the offer didn't sing to them like right now, and it's like minutes, probably less than 10. Yeah. Trying to get this out of their life, you're lost.
I'm going to make a gamble that the only time you've remembered the result of your Google search was because they already had a pre-existing place inside of your mind.
Yeah. But you didn't remember the ad.
I didn't remember the ad. I remembered ABC Roofing because they were already in my brain. Yeah. That's the only reason I'm like, oh, yeah, I need to call them back. That kind of thing. So.
Yeah. So that's the biggest con and the biggest fundamental difference is what's the user doing and then how many of them are there available there to you.
You can't create more.
You reach a ceiling. Most advertisers probably don't have a budget where they're going to reach that ceiling. But if you're a very niche service, you reach it really quickly.
You get who's searching. And we can't run around and make people search for what you're selling.
Yes. There's a measurement inside. Yeah.
But
there's a measurement inside Google. We have a friend who has he does a really specific thing under houses, like a foundation repair guy. There's not that many people looking for foundation repair. High margin, really great business. But in the grand scheme, a town of 1 million people can probably support 2 or 3 medium-sized companies, and the rest are just onesie twosies.
Yeah.
He actually could literally and very quickly reach all of the searches that are available to him in his market. And Google would say, cool, we come back tomorrow. Nobody's searching that today.
Nobody's searching for that. Yeah. The only other way to get is you get creative. You say crack in my foundation or something like that, and then you get a little different. But
yes. Okay. Cons, currently, it's jacked. Google is jacked. We've talked a lot about that. There are some categories. I'm talking windows, doors, roofing, all of the luxury and upgrade remodel type home improvement services. We've done a lot of that. And even 3 or 4 years ago, we could still get a customer opportunity and have somebody in their living room talking to them about moving forward with that for $100, $150 total in. Now we're going to do some math here in a second, but that's like $300 or $400.
Yeah.
And that's largely due because Google is trying to create more inventory and charge more for it because they are a machine that does not settle for leveling profits.
Publicly traded company with shareholders to answer to.
They always want more.
Yep.
And even in the economy is doing less. Google wants more. So they have to charge more for it, and they have to find a way to make more inventory that is at a lesser quality. They're the proverbial putting sawdust on the horse feed. Ever heard that one?
No.
Yeah. It's the guy who puts 10% sawdust in his horse feed to make it go longer. And he goes, this is great. I didn't notice anything different. Then he does a little more, and pretty soon his horse dies. And he figures out, oh, wow, cool.
It's expensive.
Lesson of the day. So that's what they're doing. They're doing it in a lot of different ways. They're trying to push more AI features and trying to, flash shiny objects to marketers who don't know better. But you do know better because you listen to the Maven Marketing Podcast, and you're just going to go into Google with a skeptical, less rosy expectation than what was in the past, because you have to be dadgum good to get it to be profitable.
You got to be watching from all angles.
You really do.
They're getting fast and loose with even how, if you wanted, exact and phrase match terms, those are also getting loose as well. They're becoming closer and closer to broad match, which is just like,
yes,
we've talked about this before, but
they're putting your ads in front of less serious buyers is effectively what it is, or possibly robots if you don't click the right buttons. There aren't buyers at all. So, and then on top of that, just because they wanted to, they jacked up the price over 200% in the last couple of years. So it's becoming one of the most expensive ways to earn customers if you're not a known and liked and trusted company.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I used to be able to hit home runs for brand new companies out of the gate, and I'd be like, this is undeniably going to be at least profitable. So we can build your machine and then go start doing these other broad media types.
Yeah.
We would have to work 3 to 4 times as hard. And there's still some categories right now that if it's really competitive, man, I don't know that Google is my launching platform like it used to be.
They outpace the economy in their pricing. And that doesn't work for the business owner.
Yes.
So.
Because, we used to be getting clicks for $5 to $10 and I'm talking home improvement services that would have a $5,000 to $10,000 in price tag and a couple few grand profitability in that sale. So they could afford to get and pay for lots of clicks to just let that system come out right now. But even in the Midwest, even in not like extremely competitive markets, I'm seeing an average of at least $20 a click for home services. I'm seeing it in legal, and I'm also starting to see it more in medical. For the record, I think medical is the safest of those things. Just because of the lifetime value of patients and there's just a more profitability associated with that. But let's just assume you are a $10,000 average ticket sale home improvement. You're paying $20 a click in most categories, if not more. If you have a really, really good website and a decent, brand trust factor built because you've focused on the tomorrow customer, you can get a 10% of those clicks to convert into a lead. Do the math. That's $200 a lead. You have to buy 10 clicks for one of them to turn into a lead. It's $200.
$200.
On the high end, you're going to get 3 out of 4 of those to convert to an appointment. Some of them are going to be knuckleheads or don't need what you sell. But if you're really, really good at chiseling this down, you've got really good people on the phones and responding to your emails, 75%. That puts you at a $266 appointment cost and a 50% close rate. You're paying $500, $532 to be exact if you close half of those leads, which... All those are at the high end of performance, right?
That's the cost to acquire the sale.
It's cost to acquire, a sale that you might have $2,000 or $3,000 in profit in. Now, that's profitable. I would trade $532 for $3,000 all day long.
Yep.
I would do that. But my margins for error are quite a bit less than they used to be because most people listening to this, if you haven't focused on the things we're talking to you about, that's actually more like a 5% conversion rate on your website. The click is still $20, but now you paid $400 for a lead.
And your sales trainee gets those leads.
Yes.
And converts them at 30%.
Yeah. Or your receptionist who hasn't been trained, God love him or her, but hasn't been trained to properly get people to the next step. And they're only setting, half of those to an appointment. So now you've got an $800 cost per appointment. And now, you can't miss very many of those swings or you're getting into unprofitable mode. You got to have at least a 50% close rate. Most are to 30 to 40, but and so you're getting into
out of your 3,000.
That's exactly right.
You don't have much hay left.
And that's before you paid the agency or the expert to run the media for you, right? So stakes are high on Google, and that's why I kind of hate their guts. We do it, but for the average business owner, Google used to be just, you could put money there and it was going to shake out one way or another, whether you knew this stuff we're talking about or not. But our team, it's a weekly grind to keep the metrics at this level. And they're really good at, we're not we've been doing this a long time. It's not, and by the way, That's what my peers in the agency experience and all of that stuff. So profitability and margin for error has all gone down in Google. And I'm not trying to make it a big bad wolf. We'll spend multiple six figures on Google this month. It's not like we don't do it anymore. I don't got a dog in that fight. I'm just telling you it's harder than it used to be.
Yeah. Let's talk about Facebook.
Okay.
And we're talking about, actually, when we talk about this, we're talking about meta ads. Everybody just calls it Facebook. It's actually Facebook and Instagram. And if you don't uncheck a certain button, it could be a lot of other places too.
A lot of other junk that Meta throws in
we
there.
try to just stick with those two. But that's what we're mainly talking about. Lead generation on Facebook and Instagram. Meta ads.
Yeah. So Google, the equation was you enter the keywords you want your ads to show up for. Ideally, you show them an ad with some text that gets them to click to your landing page, and your landing page takes them to the next step, and you go from there.
Yep.
Facebook is a little different. That's kind of sort of still the call to action, but I have to intercept them in a different mode. Okay.
Yes.
I'm on mindlessly scrolling, or she's on mindlessly scrolling, looking for cat videos. That's what Nate does, I know. But
he's doing it right now.
And
paying attention.
And in the back of my mind, I'm tiptoeing into some categories of buying. Let's say I've got an old roof and I know I need to replace it, but I've just been putting it off. Or this morning I had a pain factor with my refrigerator because it was not acting the way it should, but I'm putting it off. It's not a red hot problem.
Ding in the side of your car.
Yes.
You need to call Papa Dent. But
Papa Dent.
Papa Dent. That's a great name for a business.
That's a really good. You can take that.
Yeah, somebody grab that one
and send Caleb a check for
a royalty check.
A percent of the profits.
You can call the dent fixer, and no, I like Papa Dent.
Papa Dent.
I feel like
Papa Dent.
I feel like it needs like an Italian Papa Dent.
Papa Dent.
You know what I'm saying? Give him
Listen, if you're a PDR company and you want to rebrand, we got half the work done. Just give us a call.
Yeah,
it's going to be really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Those ads write themselves. But you got a dent in your car you haven't taken out in a while.
Yeah.
Papa Dent comes along, says, I'll give you a special offer, intercepts, earns your attention, right?
Yeah. Something you can ignore. On that. You need it, but you can ignore it.
I'll give you another one. Moms who are secretly been going, oh man, I wish my kid was in music. I wish they could play piano or whatever. But they ain't got the time of day to call the music store, or doesn't even know who to call.
Yeah.
The music store comes up and says, music lessons starting, Friday or this next week or whatever. That's a timely offer, right?
Yep.
She was in tomorrow mode, and that nudged her over into today mode. She might do something about it. Okay.
That's the nature. If it's not clear, that's the nature of this Facebook audience is they're straddling the line between tomorrow customer, holding on, waiting, and we are going to push them into this today customer land sometimes.
With an offer, creativity, or otherwise creating desire that they can't say no to.
Yep.
We have to make doing something more attractive than continuing to not do something on Facebook.
Yep. So pros for Facebook. You're often the first one to reach them because they're higher in that funnel. You're not holding the net at the bottom.
Yes.
You're reaching them a little bit sooner than the finish line. You get to be the one that beats everybody who's waiting for the Google search to happen. You get to be there a little bit earlier.
Yes. You're before the finish line. And in a lot of categories still yet today, as of 2024, there are a lot of local service type companies or good, high-end products that aren't aggressively using Facebook near as much as they are Google. Like Google's the commoditized transactional bear that we all have to deal with. And even though Facebook's not new, there's a lot of inventory, like millions of minutes spent, every day on Facebook. And so therefore, every fifth or sixth scroll through is an ad, and there's a lot of inventory there. So you can simply reach more. And remember we said the Google CPM, the cost to reach 1,000 people was like at least $800. Facebook can be 10 to 20. And so just think about that's literally 80 times more people you're reaching.
There's a give and take on that. We'll get to that.
There's a give and take. Now, they're not as hot and ready to buy.
No.
However, you can reach a lot more of them for cheaper money, which leads to a lower cost lead. Okay?
Yeah.
In the meantime, in between that, you're not just showing them text and saying, click now, because they wouldn't. You're showing them a video that's compelling, that's creating desire, that's showing how pretty it is, showing how great their life's going to be. writing nice long form, big, beautiful text that Leslie taught you how to do a few episodes back about how to, get them to imagine taking action with you. You are.
You can test multiple headlines.
Yep.
You can test, you really test different ads and landing pages. That's the cool thing about Facebook ads. You can A, B, C, D, E, F test these things.
That's right.
And find out which one works.
You're using sound too.
Yeah.
That's not a component of a Google click. You are also getting the benefit of people who chime in and comment on that ad, the social proof, and how many likes and hearts does it have next to it. How many times has it been shared? And you get this added benefit of people who go, "Yeah, this is a cool company.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so cool."
You
And
get a
start
little bit of
conversation.
you get a little bit of an algorithmic boost there too.
Yes.
When people start sharing it, liking it, Facebook will actually give you more for your money in that case because they find you more relevant. Google can't do that.
Yes.
You're just stuck when somebody searches. Pretty crazy.
Undoubtedly. So you got the rich media, you got the social proof, you got the social sharing, you got the ability to quickly retarget because Facebook, the thing about Google is when I search for something and I find it today, I don't ever go back to Google for that thing again. Facebook, I could look at something today, get busy, get bored, not take action. Tomorrow, Facebook, and I will just tell you, this moment in time, Facebook has really, for a while, their algorithm sucked. It's really, really doing a great job of following Caleb around because he stopped to look at a drum set and now he's seeing other drum sets immediately. And it happens to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
You used to have to be pretty sophisticated and chiseled to do that as a marketer. Facebook's kind of doing it on its own.
Yeah.
So it's doing a really good job of knowing pretty quickly, hey, you're considering this product. Let's show you the others. Let's show you the others. And specifically, if your ad got clicked on, you will be one of those that gets shown. And it's just the quality factor is going up. So that leads to a very cheap cost of exposure comparatively and a very cheap lead.
Mm-hmm.
Some benchmarks we are seeing, providing that the landing page was well done and we're doing all the things well in the messaging department, we can expect 1 out of 6 of the Facebook leads that we get to convert to some sort of an appointment or like sales presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Which is different from Google and what was the rate on Google? Remind us.
Well, we were talking earlier about leads on Google costing at least $200. Like that's not out of the norm for a service-based company that has those kind of profit margins. Facebook leads, not at all unreasonable to get a $25 to a $30 lead. We're doing it all day, every day here for our campaigns. For a local-based business, right? That's really, really good. But the appointment cost, remember earlier, at $200 a lead, because only half of them set to an appointment, is $400 for an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even if 5 of them are bogus, and by the way, with Facebook, you have to follow up and you have to really work these leads more. But even if only one of them out of 6 sets, I've got $150 cost per appointment. Okay,
that's good.
So it's a lot more grind to get there. The media to sales opportunity is less money.
Mm-hmm.
And if I close those at the same rate, and that's a salesmanship thing, then I've got $300 or $400. Well, $300 at that math, but $300 or $400 is not unreasonable at all to make $3,000 on a roof or a set of windows or siding or whatever I'm selling. So, the the caveat, you got to have more labor and follow up. So you're paying somebody hourly or somebody
to be on the phone more.
You're going to tie up your bandwidth. And if you don't have the right mindset for that person or the right person doing that,
or the patience to wait for those leads to come from that today category and slide over, from tomorrow to slide over to today.
Yes.
We've got to make sure that you have the patience to know this is a Facebook lead. Not all of them are hot and ready to buy right now.
Correct. Yes. And you have to have that mindset.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're going to be tremendously frustrated with Facebook and you're going to quit it. And you're just going to be like, these are junk leads and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up about your cost per lead, Mr. Marketer, and put it all back on Google. At least I can get a hold of people there.
Yeah.
You're going to have a bunch of people you can't get a hold of on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
However, those people that you quote unquote couldn't get a hold of are still valuable. Put them in your CRM, drip on them. Guys, I'm seeing clients of mine that started Facebook lead gen let's just say it was earlier this year.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8 months later, the profitability continues and continues and continues
Yes.
to improve. And they're selling $10,000 jobs that they were like, 6 months ago, they were like, screw these people. I can't get a hold of them.
Yeah, I can't get them.
And now they're like, yep, you've been calling me. And now, I'm ready to go. And it's like, guess what? They were first. They were first on the list.
Mm-hmm.
That's always good, right?
Yep.
He who gets the most time with a customer wins.
Mm-hmm.
They got the most time with the customer. They've been emailing them all along. They've been nudging them over the line.
Circle back in your phone schedule.
Yes.
Call them again.
A lead is a person with a need. And Facebook leads have needs. They just may not be needs yet.
Yeah.
Google leads are needs right now. Facebook leads are needs, just not yet.
Yeah.
But you do the right thing, which, by the way, in between those email touch points and those extra calls and those systematic follow-ups are touch points that make you like 50 times more credible than every other donkey on the list.
Just fly by night.
Yeah.
You are there and you've been there for 6 months.
Yep.
And so when
You're
you
building a bond.
when you first start these Facebook leads, if you haven't started them, you will feel this like, ooh, I don't know, the lead quality. That's what you're going to say. Lead quality is not great.
Awful. Yeah.
That may feel true, but hold on for a minute because the cost is way lower. So it's okay. We can go through a couple more to get the same result. That's okay. But then also the compounding result of those 5 that didn't pick up or said not right now, you have them in your system and you're going to continue to grow them. You're going to keep watering them month after month, and you will see those turn into leads next year, maybe.
Yeah. Those are seeds planted in the fall. They come up in spring, right? Last thing, cherry on top, you reach tens of thousands of people. Just because they didn't respond to your lead doesn't mean they didn't see the ad.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen on Google, right?
No. If you only measure Facebook as a lead gen, yes, you're running lead gen ads. That's the objective you tell Facebook. That is the goal you tell it to do. But you still got to show your ad to tens of thousands of people along the way.
And that was a micro impression that made them think of you, maybe, hopefully like you and trust you in the long run more. So you got a tomorrow factor out of it. So Facebook's a good in between today and tomorrow media. You get a little bit of the best of both worlds. And if you have the propensity to follow up and take them to that buyer's journey, you'll win. The customers will pay for the media, and you got the cherry on top for free. You got the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people over a month advertising for free.
So we were asking at the beginning of this episode, which one's better?
Conclusion. Google wins if you can pay more than your competitors for a customer, if you can offer the bigger discount, and if you can respond the fastest to the lead. Facebook is better if you can afford to create ads that are entertaining, if you can demonstrate that you have the best value, and if you can afford to wait for the right time for the customer to act. Take a self-assessment. Where are you on that spectrum? If you are just down and dirty, you don't have a big fancy ad agency, you don't have creative that is ready to rock, probably wait for a good writer or a time that you can find or afford somebody to do Facebook the right way and just lean into Google.
Yeah.
Because you'll get a faster result, it'll be more predictable. But if you're going, hey, I've got Google under my belt, I know what I'm dealing with, I can get that transactional customer when I want it, but I want a little bit more of a premium curated opportunity for my people to go sell products to, Facebook is going to be a better platform for that.
That's right. And we'll tell you, for most of our more established clients, it's both. We're not picking one or the other. We are doing both because we want to reach people at both times, at both ends. The last thing I'm going to say before we sign off here, pay attention to where this lead came from and what that user mindset was. So important. Your person calling these people back needs to know exactly what mode, whether they were a Facebook lead that's in tomorrow sliding into today mode, or did they search for I need you right now?
Yes. And
choose you, fill out the form. The I need you right now conversation should go much differently than the I think I might need you here in the near future conversation.
I'm just curious, dipping my toe in the water.
I just want to know how much the cost is. That is a different conversation, and you need to make sure that your people on the phones are having that conversation very differently.
If you put the human being, their needs, pains, hopes, and fears, and their life and their context and their situation first, you will win with both platforms, and you will make tons of money. You're going to be filthy rich We can't wait to see it happen.
Tell us about it.
Hey, somebody's listening and they're going, yeah, but I can't make my Facebook campaign do this, or I haven't been able to make my Google campaign do this. We want to help you. If you are having problems with lead conversion, if you're having problems with quality and you're going, what's missing in my equation? There's a lot more to say about each of these platforms and how to do it right. Send us an email to Maven Monday at frankandmaven.com. We're going to pull it out. We're going to either give you a quick answer or we're going to say, let's put that question on the show and dissect it and give you some ideas to try, and we'll make you more successful. That's what we're all about here. Achieving the big dream, eliminating waste in advertising, growing your business. We'll be back here every Monday with answers to your real life marketing questions, because marketers who cannot teach you why
are just a fancy lie.
Have a great week.